Welcome to WTF Wednesday, where we unpack the money moves that look good on the surface but might bite you later. I'm Dr. Tanya, and today's segment is all about one of the most deceptively convenient money trends out there, which is buy now, pay later, otherwise known as BNPL. Now, let's just keep it a buck for a minute. Because we know how it is when we're online shopping and that little box pops up saying for interest-free payments, and you can make these payments in installments. And it feels like a win, at least for the moment, right? Well, you get what you want and you pay for it later thinking, what could go wrong? Well, plenty could go wrong if you really think about it. And we're going to talk about those things today. So sit back, grab your drink, and let's get into this. Now, first, we need to talk about what is buy now, pay later. BNPL is a short-term financing option that lets you divide a purchase into smaller payments, usually 4 equal payments, sometimes over a 6-week period. Companies like Afterpay, Klarna, Affirm, and Zip are some of the biggest players in this buy now, pay later game. It's basically a digital layaway, but with the product in your hands before you finish paying for it. Now, before we go any further, let's take just a moment or two to talk about the psychology of spending. So the psychology of instant gratification and emotional spending really drives a lot of what we do when we make certain types of purchases, the timing of when we make them. And, and so there's a psychology behind it that I think people need to understand. And BNPL thrives on our natural desire for instant gratification, which is the need to satisfy a want right now rather than waiting for it at a later time. Retailers know this little bit of information, and BNPL services are designed to remove the friction at checkout. So, in other words, they make it easier for you to make these snap decisions about spending money, which is not always a good thing. The reality is when you see 4 easy payments of $25, your brain focuses on the $25 and not the $100 that you just charged. That $25 to you feels manageable, even if you wouldn't have spent $100 up front. And what BNPL does is it traps you into emotional spending habits, especially during moments of stress, boredom, or social comparison. So when people are emotionally vulnerable, they're more likely to make impulsive purchases that feel good in that moment, but may create a whole lot of regret later on. BNPL gives the illusion of affordability, turning I want this now into I can afford this now, even if that's not financially true. Now let's talk about some pros of BNPL. First, there's easy access to goods. You get your item immediately, even if your bank account is saying, maybe not today. There's no interest most times. So if you pay on time and in full, many BNPL plans don't charge interest. Now that really is a plus over credit cards because we know credit cards going to charge you interest every time. There are no hard credit checks. Most BNPL services don't perform hard inquiries, so your credit score doesn't take a hit when you apply. And lastly, a budget management tool. If used wisely, BNPLs can help you manage your cash flow during tight months, especially for fixed income households. So you have to be smart about how you use it because it could be advantageous to you. Or we'll talk about some of the cons of BNPL. It's easy to overspend because it feels affordable in the moment, and people are more likely to buy what they can't truly afford. There are hidden or late fees. Miss a payment and find out. You might get slapped with fees, and some BNPL providers report late payments to the credit bureau. So now remember, there's no credit check when you apply, but if you late making a payment, it's going to get reported to the credit bureau. So be cognizant of that. And BNPLs are not always interest-free. Some longer-term BNPL plans, especially for larger purchases like furniture or electronics, include interest rates as high as 30%. So be wise about the BNPL plans. It doesn't bill credit. So BNPLs don't bill your credit usually. On-time payments often don't get reported to credit agencies, but a missed payment does. That is a financial trap that you need to be aware of. And then multiple plans equal chaos. So juggling 4 or 5 BNPL plan agreements at one time can spiral into disorganized debt, and very quickly. Now let's talk about some real life scenarios where BNPLs might make some sense. And let's be real, it's not all bad. BNPLs can serve a purpose when they are used strategically. For instance, back to school or holiday shopping on a fixed income. Also, emergency purchases, car repairs, unexpected medical expenses. When credit cards are maxed out, BNPL plans can be useful. Large ticket items, again, like furniture or home appliances, electronics, only if there's a 0% interest plan and you have a budget to cover those payments. That's the only time it's going to make sense. But often BNPLs, it's just a financial denial in disguise, okay? Buying trendy clothes, beauty products, or gadgets on impulse. Using it to bridge a budget shortfall, it's still going to be there in 4 to 6 weeks. Just doesn't make sense. Making multiple BNPL purchases at once and losing track of your total debt load. It can be crazy later on down the line. So you have to be careful, and you have to use these BNPL plans responsibly. If you're using BNPLs because you're short on cash, but don't have a plan to replenish that cash, you're borrowing from your future self. And the future you might be stressed and stretched the heck out later on down the line. So be mindful of that. So here are some actionable tips to help you manage your cash flow without BNPLs. Make a wait 24-hour rule. Before any non-essential purchase over $50, wait a day. See how you feel. This gives you a bit of emotional distance from the I need it now impulse. You can also use the sinking fund strategy. Create many savings buckets for things like travel, clothes, technology, and gifts. This way, when it's time to spend, you're using your money, not someone else. And also, you can unsubscribe from retail emails and apps. Out of sight, out of swipe. That's the motto. Reducing the temptation reduces the spending. You can also set up real-time bank alerts. If your balance drops below a certain number, get notified. This helps you stay aware of what you can actually afford. Build a fun budget into every paycheck. You don't have to stop treating yourself. Don't get me wrong. Just plan for it. Give yourself a guilt-free number to enjoy without financing it. That's smart money. The financial gem of the day is if you can't afford to pay in full today, ask yourself if you'll be realistically able to pay that money tomorrow. More than likely, that answer is no. BNPL might be interest free, but it's not consequence free. So the next time you're tempted to click that pay later button, pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I financing a need or a want? Is this helping my budget or hurting my future? That's your dose of financial truth on this WTF Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and send us your money questions. Because when it comes to your money, confusion is expensive, but clarity is profitable. Until next time, stay financially woke and wonderfully free. See you next week.